professional wrestling is Vince's life. This man has done this his whole entire life. And look what he's created, during his entire wrestling career. So how are you going to take him away from his life?
One-on-one. Mac Davis and WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long back with more one-on-one. Hey, Teddy.
Hey, what's going on, Mac? And let me give a shout out to everybody. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Hope they, enjoyed the holidays, and hope you didn't eat too much. If you did eat a whole lot, then you need to make a New Year's resolution to get in the gym and get that weight off and keep it off.
Well, now that may be me, Teddy. I feel like you're preaching at me. So.
Well, then if it's you, then you definitely need to go. You know better.
I know better. I've just been lazy lately, and I told you that the other day. I was getting really lazy. It's just sitting around here over the, doing nothing. During the holidays.
You can't do that.
So what did you do for Christmas, Teddy?
I just stayed around the house. The weather's been so, cold and frigid here till I was going to get out and go see my wife's grandmother. And it was just too cold, man. I didn't go nowhere. So me and Mr. Ruthless, we stayed right here in the house.
I was about to say, no problems with the cold. For those who aren't aware, we live in Georgia, and Georgia hit a cold snap these last few days. And I mean, brutal, cold weather for Georgia. I don't know what it was for a low there, but I think we hit 15 as a low once here.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. And like I said, it's lifted a little bit, but it's still cold out there today.
Oh, it is. Still, that wind is what gets you. It just cuts right on through you. All right. I'm sorry, Teddy. I'm just going to say I want to welcome everybody to 101. I want to remind you, please subscribe. This show really benefits when you hit that subscribe button. So every time you hit it, if you haven't done it yet, go down there, hit the subscribe button, and take care of Teddy and I with Sportskeeda. These guys have been really good to Teddy and I, and we want to return the favor by giving them the most subscribers and the best views they can get on this particular channel. And we do that with your help.
Right, and all you got to do is just go look down at the bottom of that screen right there, and it'll tell you just exactly where to go and subscribe. We certainly appreciate it, man, and y'all just keep on coming, players.
Let's talk business, Teddy. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, we had talked about him recently, and I just found out what his numbers were. Now, he made two movies. One was an animated movie, and the other one, of course, was Black Adam. Guess how much he made for two movies, Teddy?
What, about $50 million?
A little bit lower than that, but $32.5 million to voice one movie and to act as the superhero and main lead in the other. That's not bad money.
No, ain't nothing bad about that at all. That's good money.
And look, that's just from the movies. That has nothing to do with any other ventures that he's got. And of course, he's got the tequila brand. I think it's tequila that he has out there. And I didn't know he was a big tequila drinker, but he seems to be.
Well, God bless him, man. He, I was right there, kind of with him a little bit of a struggle, but, we seen, where he started and where he come from. So, he's just blessed. God has really blessed him. And one thing about him, he doesn't forget the people that were helping him on the way up. He certainly goes back and see about those people that certainly helped him get to where he is today. So kudos to Rock, man. Merry Christmas to him, and keep on having all the good luck.
Yeah, and he really does. We had Downtown Bruno on here just recently, and as a matter of fact, I got a message from him yesterday on Christmas, wishing me Merry Christmas, and he's just one of those guys that helped Rock along the way, and Rock didn't forget and got him a brand new F-150, if I believe that's what he told us last time we talked to him. So
and he made him the consultant to the TV show. So
the Young Rock, yeah.
So that's a nice check.
Hey, look here, WWE needs an answer from Dwayne, though. They are still hoping that he will be a part of WrestleMania, but he is yet to say yes or no, and they say they need an answer by Royal Rumble. And I know how you've been around the WWE, and as things get closer to Mania, they like to have stuff locked down, don't they?
Well, yeah, they do, and so they can be ahead of time and kind of know which direction they're going in. So. Well, but you're dealing with a billionaire, man. You're dealing with a movie star. So this guy can move when he wants to. He can call his own shot. So I think if WWE, they're smart, they're business people, So if it takes a while and they're sure that he's going to give them an answer, then they'll wait it out.
Teddy, when was your first WrestleMania?
God, I don't even remember, man. I believe it was WrestleMania. I think it was in Detroit, Michigan. I believe that was the first one. I'm not sure, man. That's been so many years ago.
Do you remember your first impression when you saw the crowds from WWE versus the crowds you saw at WCW?
Oh yeah, man. Especially the crowds I seen at WrestleMania. You know, the time that I was able to go to one of them, that's when you really see it, man. I mean, people. I mean, unbelievable. And the thing that really got me, you know, was this. They did WrestleMania here in Atlanta, Georgia. And there were 70,000 people there in that Georgia Dome. And when I walked out there, and Cena, tell you, anybody else, you know, I got the biggest pop. You know, I mean, it was unreal, man. It almost brought a tear to me to hear all those people, 70,000 people chanting for me there. And I tell you what, I did when I come backstage and I was walking back, John Cena was sitting there and he looks at me and he says, "Damn, Teddy." And that was it. And I kept right on walking.
That's the love of the fans. You have something that, you know, that every superstar wishes they could have, and that is just a relationship with the fans. That for whatever reason they are just attracted to you, and it's the personality and the just being nice. Really, you know, you're nice to everybody you come across. I see it all the time. You know, you're always out there and letting people know you appreciate that they, you know, watched you all those years.
And the other thing too, you know, I want to, you know, give all glory to God. I'm blessed too, you know, for the people, you know, because I never knew what I had or why did they like me, you know. So this is just a gift from God. So I'm blessed too, man, and I understand that. So what I want to do is just share my blessings and try to pass on all the knowledge that I've learned in this business, and let me pass it on to some of the young talent, and hopefully, you know, I can help somebody.
Teddy, I'm curious. This was not on my list of questions, but I'm going to throw this out there at you. You've been in both WCW and WWE. What are the differences between the companies and how they are run? I mean, I always hear, you know, that WCW was kind of just, it was just really everybody was kind of out for themselves, and they really wasn't run that very well as far as management goes. And it sounds like WWE is just a machine. Is that?
Well, the only thing I can tell you, I don't, you know, like I said, at the time that they started doing good there, when they had the NWO and all that, they were selling out arenas everywhere, you know. And my thing was this: when I was in WCW, you know, my job was like, and NWA too, my job was on the job training. I had to train my own self. Didn't nobody want to tell me nothing, and they wouldn't tell me anything. So the reason why I say this all the time is that when I left WCW and went to WWE, I really learned what the wrestling business was all about, because I went and started working for some people like Vince McMahon that were professional people. They're about drawing money. This is no game, you know, nothing you play with. So you have to take your job very serious. And I didn't take my job serious in WCW because I didn't understand. I didn't know, you know. So I'm just glad I had the opportunity to go and work for Vince so I could understand what this business is all about and how to draw money and, you know, what it takes to make this thing work. I learned all that, you know. I kept my mouth shut and I kept my ears open, and that's how you make it in this business.
WWE is teasing a new match, one that's never been done before, for the Royal Rumble, and it's called a pitch black match. Now, everybody's assuming this is for Bray Wyatt. It'll be in the dark. Teddy, I know you've seen some crazy gimmick matches in your lifetime because I've seen them on TV and I know where you were. Some of these crazy things happened in WCW and it happened in WWE. What are some of the craziest gimmick matches that you've seen?
Well, I don't know, man. Once ECW came over and they took that over, then that's when they really started to, you know, kind of going overboard a little bit. So I've just, you know, some of them, they just don't make any sense to me. But like I said, you know, you take a guy like Mick Foley, he's been in all those crazy matches. And I remember one time with him, you know, I think they told him not to take the thumbtacks to the ring. And I think he stuck them down in his pants and he took them anyway. And so we were all back there. And once he threw them out, Vince blew a gasket. Ooh. Oh, God, was he hot, you know? And so, you know.
Why was Vince against the thumbtacks? Do you know?
Well, no, I don't know. Just some things I guess you don't do. Those, I mean, you can use them, but those things are pretty dangerous. You know what I mean?
I don't want them in me.
you're falling around, taking bumps in the ring. You know, you don't know where. You know, they're small, but they're still a need. You know, you don't know where they may stick you. So, I guess he had his reason for not wanting them to be out there. But like I said, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff.
What about yeah, I was about to say, now this may have been in, this wasn't WCW, I think, but it was the electric chair that they put Abdullah in.
I was in WCW, I think.
Yeah. Were you there at that time?
I was there. I don't remember seeing that, but I was there at that time.
Yeah, it was one of the craziest, dumbest matches I think I've ever seen WCW put out. Well, one of them. Well,
you know, you got some people that are behind the scenes, don't have a clue. They just come up with stuff, and a lot of people just let them, you know, okay, well, let's try it. So,
who was the greatest of all time in professional wrestling, in your view?
I would have to say Bobby Eaton, beautiful Bobby Eaton. God rest his soul. He was part of the Midnight Express. One of the greatest technicians, you know, in this business. I mean, he could, you know, make everything look, I mean, you could hit him and he'd know how to sell, you know, he'd make you think you knocked his head off, you know what I mean? And he was just a mat technician. Okay, Undertaker was another great worker. I watched Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, come, you know, from a short time, in a short, you know, real quick, you know, he came up real fast. He was great in the ring. Rock, since we were talking about him, take a look at him, you know, guy had it in his genes, you know, his daddy, you know, was a professional wrestler, so he kind of had that with him. So, you know, just a lot of guys, you know, some of them I don't remember, but there were some great, you know, mat guys that wrestlers.
In the WWE, who was the most successful performer? In your view, I know we don't know numbers, but I mean, in your view.
Well, I would have to say Hogan.
Hogan?
Yeah, I would have to say Hogan. He was the hottest thing since sliced bread, brother. So I think he was the most successful. And then right behind him, you know, John Cena came along, you know, so he's done pretty well for himself in this business too. So, and I did see a commercial during the football game there that he's supposed to be returning back to SmackDown this Friday night.
Really? Now, see, that's news to me. I didn't see that. Good.
Yeah. Well, I think it's coming this Friday because I did see it on the commercials on the TV on the football games yesterday on Fox.
Now, Teddy, you just reminded me of something I'm going to bring up. Again, you're making me go off script here, but I'm going to do it anyhow. A couple of weeks ago, I asked you to watch AEW, the full show. Have you done that yet?
No, I haven't.
Shame on you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I try to look at some of it, you know what I mean? And it's just,
I know just what you mean, because there are so many people that are the same way, Teddy. It's hard to watch the product now, especially if I understand the product has advanced and will always change and be something different than what we remember, but it's so far removed in some cases that it's hard for me to actually sit there and watch it and feel like I'm not being taken advantage of.
Right. Well, you know, the only reason that I would, took time to watch it is because of what we do here. You know, we do our podcast. And, I need to know information to talk about, you know, so I probably start watching it, on those bases. But, my thing is this, AEW is not interested in me and I'm not interested in them.
Let's talk about Konnan. We brought him up just the other day in a whole different topic, but he is now in need of a new kidney. And from what I understand, his old kidney, he had one kidney already one donated kidney he's already had, but I believe it's failing now. And so Konnan is in need of a kidney, looking for a kidney transplant. And there is word that both Dominic and Alea Mysterio have offered to donate their kidneys.
Well, that's good, man. Thank God for that. Konnan, great guy. Had a chance, to meet him. Didn't know him real well, but I did, meet him a little while back. Really nice guy, man. So if they're gonna give him a kidney, thank God. That God bless him, and let's just wish Konnan a speedy recovery.
Yeah, and hopefully those kidneys. I don't know if those kidneys will be matches. Of course, that's one of the problems that you have. Not anybody's kidney will work, but we certainly wish Konnan the best in finding that kidney and getting back on his feet. And Konnan really is a wealth of information when it comes to how professional wrestling should be presented. He's a lot like, to me, Jim Cornette. He's very vocal, but usually he's right.
Well, yes, he is, and like I said, he's done a lot for the business too. He helped a lot of guys out. I mean, he's the reason that there's a Rey Mysterio. So he helped a lot of guys. Juventud Guerrero, a lot of the guys that came over from Mexico over. Well, Konnan was the guy behind all of that.
The only thing that I don't like about Konnan, and I hate to say this, Konnan, but you're friends with Disco? Disco? Really? Disco? Teddy, you worked with Disco some, didn't you?
Here's another guy. If you ain't got nothing good to say, then don't say nothing. And I have nothing good to say.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I listen to their show occasionally off and on because I do like the show. Disco drives me crazy, though, because it always looks like he's laying in his bed and looking up at the ceiling at the camera. It's like, dude, can you at least get out of your bed to come do this thing? But but it's a good show after all. But Konnan, we wish you the best. We really do. Devon Dudley was on the verge of being fired by the WWE because he wanted to be a part of a wrestling event to be in the corner of his old tag team partner, Bully Ray. Originally, John Cone told him that he could take the gig and go do it. But Bruce Pritchard and Triple H said no and threatened to fire him if he went to go do the show. So he had to back out. It kind of tells me that there's still some communication error, communication, I guess is what I'm trying to say, miscommunication in WWE right now, because it doesn't seem like everybody's aware of what the other one's doing.
Well, I don't know. John Cone is one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. He's a straight up guy. He's not going to lie to you. And I have a lot of respect for him. So I don't know. I'm sure John Cone didn't go right off the top of his head and say that and tell Devon that he could go. I
believe that John thought because Devon wasn't on TV, and he's not. He's not a character on TV anymore. He only works behind the scenes. So I'm not exactly sure what the issue was with appearing on an independent show, but.
Well, I don't think, like I said, he's still under contract. Okay. Yeah. And that contract may say that, you can do meet and greets or signings, but you can't be on anybody else's TV. And the other thing too, you know what I mean? Like I said, I just don't think John Cone made that decision on his own. I believe somebody probably said it was okay. And then John Cone told him, because John Cone ain't that kind of guy. He ain't going to jump right off the top of his head and say you can do something unless he go to the higher authority and find out, is it okay? So, like I said, we'll never know. But, that's just a policy there in WWE. You're still under contract, you know what I mean? And if you're under contract to them, you have the right, but, like I said, they'll let you do stuff. But being on somebody else's TV and then working with them, that just don't.
Well, I don't know if it was only going. Well, yeah, maybe it was on TV. I'm not sure. It was an independent show. I know that, so it wasn't going to be a big TV program. It's going to be something small.
Well, still, those Fight TV, those people, those networks, they pick it up. I was just at one of those shows during the Thanksgiving over there at Raleigh with Steamboat, and the Fight TV guys were there, and they were filming all of that.
By the way, Teddy, have you noticed that a lot of people got on to you about your comments last week?
No.
Your comments saying that you hope Vince McMahon comes back to WWE. There was a good 50-50, maybe a 60-40 split about, your thoughts, but it created a lot of comments. And people chimed in on that. A lot of people just thought, his time's over with. He needs to stay away.
Well, that's what some of the fans think. They're not behind the scenes. They haven't had the chance to work close to Vince McMahon. Yeah. They don't really know Vince McMahon. So I'm saying I've had a chance to work with him. I've been behind the scenes with him. So, whatever you think about him, that's your own personal opinion. My opinion is, what is wrong with him coming back? He ain't bothering nobody. Whatever the trouble that he's in or whatever, I don't know about none of that. Maybe that's all settled. I don't know. But professional wrestling is Vince's life. This man has done this his whole entire life. And look what he's created, during his entire wrestling career. So how are you going to take him away from his life? This is what he does. So if this will make him happy, to live the rest of his life out doing what he's been doing all his life, then let him do that. He ain't bothering nobody.
At the expense of stock holders, though, that may lose money in their stocks?
Well, that could be true too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of options. You got things you got to look at there. You know what I mean? But I just have to see what happens. And basically, I'm just giving my opinion. I would definitely leave that decision up to Vince. If Vince feels that he needs to come back, then ain't nobody going to stop him. He's going to come back regardless of what I say or what anybody else says. All I'm saying is this. I would like this, it wouldn't bother me if he came back.
There's a lot of people who believe that he's never left, that he's still working and pulling strings behind the scenes. I don't know if that's the case or not, but, I agree. I don't think that Vince being completely removed from the company is a good thing. There's too much knowledge in that man's head not to access it while it's available. I always hell with these notes because I keep going off script. But let me ask you, Teddy, I was really curious at the time that he was removed. It almost felt like a hit job. It felt like he was being pushed out. Nobody believes that Vince is going to just go, okay, I quit. That's it. I'm done. Nobody believes that. So it had to come from the inside.
Well, I guess so, man. It's like this with me. That part of it does not concern me. That's not it. That's none of my business. So I try to stay out of that. The only thing I want to speak on is Vince wants to come back. I'm for it 100%.
New Year's resolutions for wrestling, Teddy. What resolutions do WWE and AEW need to make for the new year?
Well, I know WWE is, I've been watching the show. It seems that they're, kind of getting on the right track now. Yes. I see a lot of things now that take me back to the Attitude Era, the era that was really on and popping. So I think whatever they're doing now with WWE, I think they need to continue to do it. Just keep doing and get better. I see where some of their, like some of the guys that were there before, they're bringing them back, involving them and stuff. You know what I mean? People remember that. So I think WWE is on the right track. AEW, like I said, I don't watch it. So, and, I don't know what they need to improve on because it don't concern me. I don't really care. So that's how I feel about them.
I do know that WWE has a returning superstar in the month of January. It's going to be interesting to see, so I'm looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. If what I hear is true, it should be one hell of a fun night for WWE, and I'm looking forward to it. Dave Meltzer, somebody who also kind of has a lot of rumors and innuendos out there, claims that WWE has changed its wellness policy so that talent isn't necessarily fired on the third strike. And the reason for it is they feel like they're in a fight against AEW, and they don't want to lose superstars for a third strike. And there's a lot of big names right now. They're coming up on strike number 3. They also feel like some of these guys could use that strike to leave their contract and leave the company and go to AEW.
Well, I mean, that's kind of left up to the guy. I mean, you got to know what's important to you. Is it your job or is it the drugs? You got to make up your mind there. Yep. Somebody told me that they quit testing for marijuana now. I don't know whether
I believe I heard the same thing, actually. I think I did hear they removed that from the wellness policy.
Yeah, I don't think they're testing for that now, but anything else, you know what I mean? They have to test for it. I mean, because I'll be honest with you, man. Some guys, that get on the pills, and I've been on the pills myself. So you can get out of control with them, man. Like I said, I mentioned to you one time before. One time, man, when I was on the pills, I had to take at least 6 or 7 Lorcets to even get up and move, to even function. And so I know I've been there, done that. So some guys, you need to check them and keep check on them and make sure that they don't, kill themselves. You know what I mean? So yep. I don't know what they're testing for now. I'm pretty sure it's probably steroids or cocaine or something like that. So I don't know what they could be all the way up to 3 strikes. What the hell could you be taking?
What is MDMA? Do you know what that is?
That's some kind of supplement too, some kind of steroid or something. I'm not sure what it is. It's
one of the things that they found in, what is his name? The guy that was barefooted fella, the 420 guy. Oh my God, I can't remember his name now.
Rob Van Dam?
No, but he's got the same gimmick as Rob. He's the newer guy, and for the life of me, I can't think of his damn name.
Right.
He was a tag team member with Randy Orton for a while.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. The guy that they talked about the weed with him and everything.
Yeah. He's he got popped on one of these tests, and MDMA was one of the drugs that was in there, and it was a drug that was I understand was not something that he needed to be taking. So
well, like I said, I have no idea what that is. I heard that name before. I thought it was some kind of steroid or something. I'm not sure. I don't know what it's a drug. I have no idea what it is.
No,
But,
half the time they name names of drugs, and I couldn't tell you what they're talking about half the time.
Yeah, all I can say, man, to these guys, these young guys, be careful. It ain't so much of how good you look. It's, you're going to look good anyway. All you got to do is train. You ain't got to goddamn blow up like a damn balloon, because, it don't really take all that now. It used to be back in the day, you had to get on the gas or either get, look decent in order to draw money. Yep. So right now, it just ain't like that no more. If you're a great worker in the ring, you know how to sell, you know how to capture the people, you know what to do, you know what your job is, then you'll get over without all that.
Teddy, let me ask you about gimmicks. Some of the worst gimmicks that you have seen over your years. Do you recall any that just come to mind that were gimmicks you're just like, what the hell are they thinking?
No, I remember one time the gimmick with Eugene. I didn't like that at the beginning. That didn't.
I enjoyed Eugene, and see, that's interesting because you felt something for Eugene. They were able to pull that off.
Well, they had to grow on me, and the reason why some of the gimmicks like that, I don't get them too quick because when you know the guy. And when you walk out, and you see him and you just, that ain't him. It's a different, I'm looking at it a different way. I'm pretty sure if I didn't know Eugene and first seen it, I probably would have looked at it the way you looked at it, Yep. But like I said, it had to grow on me, and it did. I got, after a while, I started liking that.
What about Kevin Sullivan as the Taskmaster and the dungeon and all that? Did you think that was good?
Well, that was just out of crazy. That was just crazy, man. And I was back there with all that because I broke in on the Kevin Sullivan and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Those are the two guys that trained me. And so back then, man, you had to do stuff to draw money. And so but the dungeon and the Taskmaster, that was unbelievable. And I had a chance to work with Kevin, I guess, 2-3 years ago when I was running this company in Texas, SWE.
Yeah.
And Kevin, I called him up and I told the guys, I said, bring Kevin in with me so I wanted Kevin to come and help me book this thing because I know that his ideas, because I growed up there with him and everything. So he come in and so, and the first thing he said, I think I had two guys that we were trying to do something with. So I said, Kevin, what do you think? What do we ought to do here? So he come up, he's got that same old concept and he says to me, brother, we need to get the feather and stick it in the ink and have the guy to sign it. Me and Dusty did that one time. He went all the way back to that. I said, Kevin, we can't do that. We can't get the feather and all that. We can't
quill and ink.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, brother, me and Dusty did it. We tore the place down. So he still has the same old ideas, but they work. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I have to sharpen them up a little bit, tone them down some now, but, they work.
Do you think that Kevin was probably one of the better bookers and storytellers of our time?
Yes. Yes, he was. His brain was unbelievable.
It seems like he is wanted everywhere. When he's available, people wanting to come in and help because he just seems to have that knowledge that people are looking for. They're looking for that style of wrestling that he always brought. He brought reality in a lot of cases to wrestling that otherwise may not have been there, may have disappeared a long time ago.
Well, back then, that's what you had to do. You had to make people believe. You had to draw money, and the only way people buy tickets is they believed, okay? So, that's what it was. And like I said, some of the old ideas, may work now, but you have to tone them down a little bit. Society has changed. It's always going to be some person out there to dislike something you do. It's always going to be one. I don't care what it is. It's going to be one that's going to, stir the pot. So you just have to be careful. But Kevin had a great mind. Eddie Gilbert, great mind, man. I'm just lucky enough to be, riding with these two guys, getting all this knowledge, man. And I never did let anybody know it either. I never told anybody about how they helped me. And during when Kevin was booking NWO, I was with him every night in Orlando, Florida, right in the room with him when he was doing the booking. When it was a booking, Nobody knew that. But I was there, and he asked me to involve myself, with ideas and stuff, and I kind of listened to him and kind of picked up on it, and then I would add a little something, and he liked it. But that's how I learned. But a lot of people never even knew that because I never told anybody, because if you tell them, then they're going to block you. Well, you can't learn nothing else.
It's amazing how that happens in this business. A lot of people want to see you fail. And the whole reason, I've told you before, the whole reason I do these podcasts and we have done and grown this podcast the way it has is because I enjoy, at the end of the day, telling all the naysayers and people who say that you can't do this and you can't do that. I love to give them one of those. It's just better than money sometimes. Let's talk about money and Goldberg. Goldberg, I hear, may be becoming a free agent. The WWE may not re-sign him. And so that leaves him in a possibility of going to AEW. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. Goldberg, another great guy. AEW, they may pick him up just to spite Vince or spite the WWE or something. I don't really know. So who knows?
When you were there for the Goldberg beating Hogan match? Were you still in WCW at that point?
No, I think I was already gone then.
Well, you probably saw him in the early days then, right?
Oh, I worked with him. For a while when he first come in.
How was he as a performer at that point? Was he still really green?
He was a little green. He was learning. He was coming along. Bret Hart was a great guy. Bret was another guy that kind of helped him along the way and, learned him and trying to train him a little bit. But he was coming along, he just had that look. Some guys have that look. And sometimes when you got that look, you don't really have to do a whole lot.
Yeah, because he surely didn't do much. But like you say, he played his part perfectly.
Well, and he got better.
Yes. Oh, he did get better. As a matter of fact, when he was in the WWE, some of his last few matches have been his best matches.
Yeah, he's gotten better, man.
Teddy, where are you going to be? Anywhere, anytime soon?
I'm going to be right here in this house trying to stay warm with Mr. Rufus. And that's about it, unless somebody calls and let me know they want me somewhere. But other than that, I'm going to be right here at the house.
Let's talk about that shirt you're wearing.
This is the shirt I got that when the guys hacked my Twitter and started blocking everybody. So I got these shirts here and it says, "You got blocked, player." So
now you can buy those particular shirts are available where?
Well, you get them from wherever that number you put down at the bottom where you subscribe to. They can also subscribe to that and they can get these shirts.
Cool. Also, for those who asked, I wore this one time before and I wore it again because somebody asked me about Christmas. The one I'm wearing is Wrestling in the Omni. I tried saving Dusty. That's the night that Dusty was inside the steel cage, and then the crowd started going in towards the cage to help Dusty. If you want that one, ProWrestlingTees.com and Road Trip After Hours. It's on that page. It's one of the original designs I had.
Okay, well, and like I said, this shirt here, you can get this from us. I got some of them, and we'll have plenty of them. So if they want to, get one, just let us know, and we'll get it to them. Also, they can follow me at my Twitter is @TeddyPlayerLong. My Facebook is TeddyLong.com. So that'll keep you knowing where I'm going to be and what's going to be happening with Teddy Long. And
Teddy will not block you, even despite what happened a couple of weeks ago when he went on the blocking spree.
If you start acting a fool, I will block you.
Teddy, real quick, any New Year's resolutions for you?
No, I keep the same New Year's resolution every year: stay in the gym and stay healthy.
Well, I hope you do that, and I hope
I will do that. You ain't got to worry.
I don't have to worry because you can outdo me in the gym. I'm Mac Davis. That is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and this has been One on One.
Holler.